Thank you, Dr. Rana. I guess I'm starting at 5:41, so the time starts now. So, Fredrick Royan, I represent Frost & Sullivan. Frost & Sullivan is a growth pipeline company and has been in the business of identifying growth opportunities across multiple industry verticals over the last 60 years. We have 11 practice areas, and I lead the sustainability and the circular economy practice at Frost & Sullivan. I don't know if many of you read the World Risks Report back in 2020. When the World Risks Report was published by the World Economic Forum, the top 5 risks were environmental related. That's when we started the sustainability and the circular economy practice, and the objective of that was to identify growth opportunities of water, energy, and resource regeneration across cities and industry value chains, given the interdependence on critical resources in an increasingly connected world. My background is I started at Frost & Sullivan as an analyst back in 2004. So I've been analyzing the water sector for the last 20 years. I'm also a member of the Smart Water Network Forum. The Smart Water Network Forum is a not-for-profit organization which is aiming to drive the use of smart water solutions in the water sector. In the Smart Water Network Forum, we have close to 250 members. Majority of them are water utilities. And amongst the utilities, some of the key members that we have are Thames Water, the leading utility for the City of London, Anglian Water, Welsh Water, and very recently we've had our latest addition to the Smart Water Network Forum, which is Swachh Environment, which is a private water utility service company which provides water services for a part of Delhi here in Nangloy. I'll focus my opening remarks focusing on 3 points. The first one is what I call as the future of sustainability and the circular economy, which is going to be shaped by the 6P framework. I call it the policies to platform framework. Many of you would be aware of the 3P framework, which is people, planet, and profit. Within Frost & Sullivan, we've shaped it into the 6P framework. What is the 6P framework about when we talk about policies to platforms? Right throughout the day, when I've been hearing about the discussions and the presentations, everything about sustainability, it starts with the first P, which is policies. Policies really shape the discussion and the agenda for many of the activities, products, and services that we developed for not just the water sector, but the waste management sector as well. So policies right from the Sustainability Development Goals to the Paris Climate Agreement to now what is the latest policy, which is about the green taxonomy. Policies are key to shape the next P, which is products. Because products have a very instrumental role in shaping the sustainability goals as well as achieving some of the sustainability goals. Be it smart water meters for cities or digital twins developed for cities, or even for that matter, pumps which are developed for the water sector. But I will also think of products as a city. A city is a product of many ecosystems. It is industry, agriculture, commerce, and the likes. And the third P is processes. Why is processes important? I think when you talk about sustainability right now, everyone's talking about scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3. When you're developing products, to start thinking about the workflows. Someone was talking about earlier as well, the importance of workflows, trying to understand the workflows, the environmental impact of the workflows. Scope 1 and Scope 2 are extremely easy. Scope 3 is the most difficult element. So when you're looking at processes, to start thinking about what is the environmental impact of these activities. Then we move on to people and process personas. This is looking at people within organizations and expertise within organizations, but also how do you capitalize on the interest when it comes to sustainability from the customer angle. We did a survey for around 600 companies in Europe, and the two topmost drivers for sustainability was customer expectations and customer retention. So that's an extremely important part. The next P is partnerships. No single entity can achieve their sustainability and circular economy goals on their own. So partnerships are extremely important, and sustainability is a B2B opportunity for companies to come together to develop solutions, but also achieve both sustainability goals for themselves, for their customer, and for their partners. And the last P is platforms. I think last year, one of the biggest, contentious word was greenwashing. There's a lot of discussion of how companies are claiming to be sustainable, claiming to be net zero. So I think going forward, we are seeing a lot of focus on platforms focused on measuring, monitoring, reporting, but also verifying when it comes to sustainability. The second point I wanted to talk about is at Frost & Sullivan as an analyst, our job is to predict what are the top 5 growth opportunities when you talk about the water sector. So I wanted to share some of the top 5 growth opportunities that we see in the water sector. The first one is smart water quality and quantity monitoring solutions. One of the projects that we've been analyzing is the Jal Jeevan mission. It's quite an ambitious project of providing 55 liters per person per day for every single rural household in India by 2024. That's like for 800 million people across 600,000 villages. It's quite an exciting mission, and it provides some really interesting opportunities for real-time monitoring of solutions for water quality and quantity monitoring. I was speaking earlier today to the gentleman from Xylem, who was also mentioning, and he mentioned about the project that they're doing in UP for around 1,500 sensors which are being deployed. And right now, I think the mission has achieved 65% and aims to achieve 100%. But most of the physical infrastructure is there. This is now when we are seeing a lot of tenders being sent out for opportunities for sensors and smart meters for villages, and I think that's quite an exciting opportunity we see shaping up what is going to be the national water infrastructure corridor or the platform, as it were, and it's going to be the largest smart water grid in the world once it's established. The second opportunity I wanted to talk about is the digital twin platforms. I think we'll have Vassal Labs talking about it, but when I think about digital twins, one of the exciting opportunities I think about is digital twin light. How can we think of digital twin solutions can be done in a much more lesser engineered manner, but also in a lesser expensive manner, which can be then redeployed and also made accessible to small utilities. We already know of small firms like Explore AI from Cape Town who are developing the digital twin light solution for water utilities. The next one is advanced membranes and membrane bioreactors. That's an area which we've been focusing quite heavily. We've been looking at quite some exciting membrane technology companies like NX Filtration, Evolve, Memsift, to name a few. So I'll be glad to share some of those thinking on that. The next exciting growth opportunity that we're seeing right now is packaged and decentralized water treatment solutions, especially in the residential sector. Earlier this week, I was in Bangalore visiting the Indian Institute of Science, and quite an exciting startup from there, which is developing residential water reuse systems, which I think for around 2 lakhs, you'll be able to deploy a water reuse system in your individual home. And I think that's something, a solution which I think going forward is going to be really exciting. And the fifth of the top 5 growth opportunities which we have is Earth observation. I'm a big fan of sustainability in space and how space can be applied for sustainability on Earth. We're seeing some really exciting solutions of using satellite imaging and AI sensors and geospatial analysis and how that's providing use cases for agriculture and water resilience. The third point is the green taxonomy. I think people have been talking about the investment. How does the water sector attract investment? So the EU is pioneering the green taxonomy, and I think the green taxonomy is going to shape investment in sustainable green technologies, especially if you look at the 6 criteria. You have climate mitigation, climate adaptation, protection of water resources, circular economy, pollution prevention and control, and protection of nature and biodiversity. On the climate adaptation side, I think is where I see most of the opportunities. And to conclude, how do we see policies to platforms? Yes, that is the root of the 6P. But I think when you look at the 6P process, and as I've highlighted, the key is to focus on processes, people, and partnerships in ensuring that policies will meet the platforms and achieve their goals. Thanks for your time.